All right, guys. So something a little different again. Um, Gonna do a little car mechanic 21 tonight. So it's 30 in the morning for me. So just want to do something a little different. I've been coming in here goofing off at times. With the demo out for Car Mechanic Simulator 26. It's got me kind of back in the mood playing this again. So, and you guys know I alternate games pretty regular. So anyhow, so as you see in the title, we got the Tesla there to restore. But the reason I have the Tesla is because I went to the junkyard. And the reason I went to the junkyard is I found this car for my dad who passed away back in 2017. And I found this car, and this is one of his favorite cars. Let me lower this bad boy down for a minute. Take a look at it. I've already done a little bit of work on it, but it's pretty well. This was a barn find, so it was a pretty nice, car when I got it, considering. And it just needs a little love, obviously, just like any of the vehicles I do in here. And so what I've basically done with it so far is I've completely dropped the whole front suspension. So new tires, wheels are all cleaned up, frames all done. I mean, all the suspension's redone, and I'm using aftermarket mods. It has a lot of aftermarket parts to give me stuff like this lower control arm here. They're a lot cleaner, and I also painted them. So I'm using a lot of mods right now. I have a lot of car mods through the Steam Workshop, which is mostly cars. The mods I'm talking about now is a external mod. There's 2 or 3 that I'm using. But anyhow, it gives me a lot of alternate parts, like these kind of brake rotor, this brake caliper, these I think that's a carbon fiber rotor there. So, and when I'm doing these parts, and it's hard for you guys to be able to see without me taking something off here, so I'm gonna pull this off real quick. And when I look at the part of my inventory, you see how there's 3 stars here. That's upgraded. Sometimes you find parts that way, but most time you got to do them, especially considering this is a performance part. And to do that, you have to do that in the upgrade machine. So let's put this back together real fast. I know y'all didn't come here to see me mess with this car, but I'll show you guys real quick what I'm doing here. So you have to take all your junk parts and come in here and you scrap them. And when you get done, you go to the upgrade tab and you upgrade them. And it takes these scraps numbers. So it's basically 226 scrap right now. And it varies on how much you use. And you go through a lot. So I was like, the best way to get a bunch of crappy parts to turn into scrap would be the junkyard. Well, of course, I can't turn down a deal. So I ended up buying like 5 cars. So we'll just do a leisurely walk around the building here. This one here I picked up. This is a mod off of Steam Workshop. Now, I'm not going to redo this one yet, at least for video, because I want to look it over and make sure that everything's going to be right. And actually, I think if I remember right, this one has some issues. And I'll just show you real quick. I don't like how these air boxes are clipped through the block and the head here. Also, too, the drive line doesn't even line up to the correct spot. Now, I don't want to sit here and bash a modder, Could have been their first mod, or they just did it because the car looks cool when it's done. Me, I'm a little pickier. If I'm going to be rebuilding a car, I want the parts to do what they're supposed to do. Among that, I picked up the other 2 cars there in the distance. This one here is an old Corvette. It's a 60 C1. And I have yet to look over it. You can tell from all the grime and dirt on it. And then this here is a Mitsubishi Eclipse, which is also a mod up the Steam Workshop. I apologize for my throat. Let me see what I can do about that. Okay, maybe that'll be a little better, maybe not. So I also picked this up, and this is a DLC, so I'm a little bit more confident in this one here, even though I've been seeing some of their DLCs not being quite perfect. But this here is the Tesla Roadster, as you've seen in the picture, the screen, you know what I'm talking about, that screenshot thing I do, the thumbnail. There we go. This is an 06. It's a DLC. It has several different configurations. As y'all know, this gives you all your breakdowns and stuff of what the car is and all that stuff. So this car actually had it parked in a different spot. I moved it. And if you're wondering why those 2 cars are parked there, It's part of the mod that I use. It gives you more exterior parking. So in theory, this is actually my garage parking, not the parking here at the garage, but the parking here, your alley parking stuff. So, but it lets you put vehicles out in different spots. So I can put a vehicle out by the auto repair sign. So if I take this one and I don't really want to go to the alley, but the auto repair sign, there's two of them here. So I believe it puts them over here, one on kind of either side of this sign, but it'll be in the parking lot, not in the dirt. And that last one you saw was tow truck, and it would actually put it on that tow truck. And you can even increase it more where you can literally line all the way around this building and all the shops and everything. It's crazy. But anyhow, this is what we came here to work on. So let's get started with this. So first off, we're going to wash it and see how much rust is under that dirt. So we'll see what this looks like. And I know normally you would not wash a convertible like this, but there's no other choice in the game. So that doesn't look horrible, but it's still pretty rough. I'm curious of why there's a block there when there's a tire there. Now, I know there's tires missing on this side, so I don't know if it the balancing act it's doing with the blocks, but we'll go with it. Over here, we'll go into an interior detail. I usually do an interior detail, and then I'll pull the interior inside the shop, and then I'll do it again, just because, you know, once you pull the seats, you want to get the french fries and everything else you lost the past week, right? So that's kind of what we're starting with. This is actually an electric vehicle, if I'm remembering correctly, being that it's a Tesla, so it's going to be electric. So part of the mods that I'm using now, the work and the Steam Workshop, you can download a mod that gives you realistic names on these vehicles that what they really are. So for example, this is probably called something else, and I can't remember what it's called. And it also does some name changes on parts too that make it more realistic to US life at least. So let's go ahead and move this thing into the shop, throw it on the lifter. And we'll just take a quick gander, see what we've got. We got a radiator here, we got some stuff there. I'm believing this is all there is for a motor. Honestly, I don't know, because I'm not an electric guy. I know this is probably a battery pack. What we're gonna do is we'll just start with the underside. We'll go ahead and rip out all the suspension and go from there. See what we got left in parts. And you may also notice too that I don't get the diagrams or the halos when I'm taking stuff apart. That's part of the profile I'm running, is I'm playing in extreme mode, so it doesn't show all that. It makes it a little harder. But the nice thing is when you go to mount parts, it does give your halos back. So it makes it a little easier for reassembly, but not disassembly. So let's see. Let's take this off. So I've been wanting to do, and this is going to be sidetrack of what we're doing here, but just something to chat about while I'm working on this. I've been wanting to do some trucking videos here for the past several days. Unfortunately, my body says no. It's not just my feet, surprisingly. I think it was Friday, so almost a week ago. Actually, a week ago, concerned it's already Friday. My mom had my oldest niece over, and they were going through boxes and going through stuff the mom's got stored in the other bedroom. And I went and seen what their progress was, and they cleared out in front of this cabinet. And that cabinet has doors on it instead of drawers. It has doors. And to be able to open it correctly, you need to put something under the front of it to keep the doors from dragging in the carpet. So I told my niece, I said, hey, I said, you know, I'm going to move some of these totes off of here because y'all pretty much almost got this thing cleared. And, you know, if you give me a hand putting some little pieces of wood under there to kind of bring it up some. So I moved a couple of heavy totes that was in my way, and they were my totes, so I needed them in a different spot anyhow. And I moved all that stuff, and I don't know exactly what I did, but I tweaked my back somehow, some way. My back is only hurting on one side, which is puzzling for me. And it's been creating some serious pain. Today is the first time it's actually felt half decent, up until I went to sneeze earlier. You know, when you go to sneeze, you breathe in a breath of air real quick. Well, when I did, it just sent stabbing pain, shooting pain up my back. It's like, oh man. You know, it's just kind of one of those things that, you know, just kind of have to deal with, I suppose, but it has not been any fun at all. So with that whole long shebang said, I've been wanting to do some trucking videos. I've got one video left. It should come out before this, but it's one of my hot shot videos. And it may come out after this. I'm not sure. We'll see what order I upload the stuff, but so anyhow, I know, I'm sorry, I'm downfall of doing this at the same time and trying to talk about something completely different. But for me to do the trucking, so my pedals are down here on the floor. As a matter of fact, the spot on it where your the back of your foot sits on the pedal assembly, I've actually got my feet on it right now. It's just kind of right there. It's a little too close in theory, but let's see, we do with this anything at all? Where can we do anything here? Kind of give me something. Okay, we're bolts. So for me to set that all up, I have to get under the wheel is sitting on the floor beside my desk, and I have to pick it up and just kind of finagle it onto the desk to be able to use it. And, I did pick it up the other day thinking I might could do it, but I almost tweaked my back again. It was just, oh man. I'm trying not to complain, but it's just, you know, kind of one of them things. It's like, man, you know, I've been wanting to play and do stuff, and can't really do anything. How does this thing come apart? Sorry, I'm not familiar with these. I'm guessing that's all I can take off of here. I'm trying to hold down the mouse on these two parts and it ain't working. So we'll have to go up to get these parts off. This is more like the under the hood type thing. So yeah, you know, with back pain, it's kind of a pain in the tail because you just can't do anything you want to do. I might take that with us. Yeah, it's just been kind of a pain. So this whole week has been pretty rough, you know, hurting and stuff. I wonder if I can just pull this with the engine puller. How do I take some of this stuff apart? Is there like a cover there? Just the window. You know, in a way, I probably should have learned this car before I did a video, but at the same time, you know what? Y'all get to see me struggle with something. Over here. Let's see if we can pull it out now. Use a crane, first remove the gearbox input shaft. Where in the Sam world is that thing at? Right there. Maybe it's these back here. That piece. Yeah, let's see if we can do it now. There we go. No motor. Anything else under here? Yeah. Yeah, just kind of dealing with some of that. I was on the fence of what I really wanted to play tonight. Just trying to chill and not really do a whole lot. Any little weird movement can send my back into a tiz, and it's pretty painful. I'm not trying to do a bunch of complaining or any of that kind of thing, but It's just been, it's just, it ain't been fun, I can tell you that. I tried messing with my Obsidian. I was trying to update some of the notes for Farming Simulator, and it's a good thing I only had to do a couple of things in there because, oh my god, did my back try to kill me for that. If I get into a comfortable spot where I'm not moving a whole lot, I do pretty good, like I'm playing on here. But if I'm doing anything that we need to charge this battery. If I'm doing anything else, then it's just a royal pain. So, and I thought about doing another farm sim on Jordan's farm tonight, but I still got one more video to upload of it. Currently we're at where we were harvesting field, what field was that? Field 6, it had corn in it. I got that all done, and I ended up doing a little hunting. So I told you guys on that one that I was going to have to try to figure out what to do with the corn header, because it's so big it's hard to transport down the road, and I can teleport on there, and I already have once, just because of the size of the header. And then I got to thinking about it. I was like, you know, what if I get a header, like a modded header, not header, a header trailer. So I did a little Google on that, and I found one. So I brought it in, and I'm using an in-game pickup truck right now to test it with, and so far it's doing pretty good. It's a little heavy for the truck, but it's working. So sorry, I had to get me a drink. Yeah, just trying to figure all that stuff out, and that wasn't much left of that, was there? All right. So with some of the mods that I'm doing, on this brake lathe that we can actually turn drums, and there's a lot of parts that I can repair that I wouldn't have been able to repair before, and I've kind of went through the list and made it to where it makes sense to repair them. On the repair deal, normally you'd have to do the little mini game, and I don't have to do that. I just keep hitting space and it just automatically does it. These mini games, it's something I hate in a lot of games, is these mini games. They're, in my opinion, they're annoying. I get that you got to do something to do the repairs and stuff, but it's kind of like a buzzkill to me, you know. And like when I did the whole junkyard run, then I came here and I repaired I don't know how many pages of parts, and then I had a whole bunch of body parts to repair, and I did all that stuff. After I got done doing all that, I didn't really want to play no more. Just kind of done with it. And that's the one thing I'm looking forward to in Car Mechanic 26 is it still has a mini game. You don't have to do it. The mini game speeds it up. So in theory, you can just throw it in there and just let it be and come back and collect it later. So probably the only time I would do the mini game on there is if I need the part right this minute and I want to just hurry up and get it ready to go. The downfall on there is to repair parts, instead of it costing money like it does here, you got to use the scrap parts from scrapping. So I'm not excited about that, but from what I read, and of course I couldn't find it when I was looking around the store, I'll have to look again. You're supposed to be able to buy scrap. I don't know how big of a pile of scrap, how much it costs, but you can supposedly buy a scrap. And once I figure that feature out, I'd like to try to delve into whether or not it's worth it. If it's worth buying the scrap to repair it. Versus, excuse me, versus buying new parts. Come on. There we go. All right, so how are we doing on time? We're at 20 minutes, so I'll let you guys kind of ride along with me here on trying to find some parts, see what we need here. We don't need no suspension arms. I don't have any calipers. So the cool thing is, if you notice here, I got this little green icon here, and that's a warehouse icon, and that even shows up when I'm in my inventory. So just to show you, there's my ABS pumps right here in my brake section. So it makes this kind of nice. I can just kind of skim through here and go, okay, yeah, I have that. No, I don't have that. Like I know I need another brake disc, but we don't have any of those in stock either. But but I can just kind of look through here and just see what we got. Like front shock absorber caps, I need another one. So I can go in here, right there. Now I have a lot of parts in here, so keep that in mind, folks. I have a lot of parts. So let's see, we'll just carry on. Sway bar now. Don't need another fuse box, that one's good. See, some of these aren't repairable. You see the little wrench with the red slash over it. I call it the Ghostbuster logo. So those aren't repairable. Don't have any of those, don't have none of those. I don't have rear shock absorber caps, to be honest with you. Rear drive axle C. Now I do have some of those, so let's grab that. Here. So this is kind of a different build because it's missing so many parts that I am going to be running back and forth to the warehouse as I do this build. It's going to be a royal pain in the tail. But trying to double check that I'm not missing something here. Don't have that. I'm going to need some wheels, but it looks like I don't have that size with that style. Same thing. So Tesla road parts, what we're going to do is we're going to just go over. So it's Tesla Roadster. So I'm going to go to my body parts and I'm just going to type this in here. So Tesla. So there's Cybertruck too. I forgot about that. We got the Roadster. We didn't need the engine cover, but I'm going to grab this mirror. I got a feeling we're missing a mirror. We'll double check this. Yeah, we were missing a mirror. Looks like I might have to buy a lot of parts for this car. I don't have these except that wheel hub cap, so we'll grab that. Got to clear the thing here. That's the last one I have too. Okay, so now I'm going to need a battery tray, 2 calipers, brakes, calipers, cylinder. I don't have any of those. Actually surprised if I don't. Okay. Need one of those, brake disc. We go back to do the build, which is probably going to be part 2 of this, is what I'm thinking. Probably going to be a lot of running back and forth for getting parts either in here or in the store, one way or another. I try to use all my parts if I can, if I have them. There's going to be so much stuff missing, it's going to be ridiculous. Hopefully the audio isn't too horrible. I turned it way down, but I may have to turn it down more. We'll have to find out when I go back and listen to the video. I got a feeling I need 4 of these. I'm gonna buy 4 just in case. So now, I don't think there's going to be much in the tune-up department for this car. Now I know I can get the battery tray. I can get a billet version, so I'll get that. I can get the tie downs in chrome. I can get a cover, but it doesn't work right with that battery. Speaking of the battery, it's still in the charger. Let's see, so I can remove that. I can get calipers and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna get that in here. Let's see, I'm just gonna kind of skim this real quick. I'm not sure. No, I don't have that for that list. Most of the stuff that you can't get in here, but there's stuff you can. I doubt that. Yeah. Rubber bushings. I got 15 here. I bet you money I need. Let me see. That'll be 4 per corner. So that's 4, 8, 16. I need like 20 of those things. So, and I can't do, I have to go here to do this. I got to click this a million times. I wish you could type in this. Excuse me. And then the rest of this is going to be in the other departments. Let's get out this here. I'm gonna try to go a little slower than I normally do through here. I usually bust through this pretty darn quick. It's kind of just became a little habit of not really trying to be in a hurry. It just, you get into that, I don't know, you know what buttons to press type thing. I'll try to go through these a little bit slower. License plates I can't get in here. Almost bet money I need 2 of those. I buy 1 for now. Realize I can't get in here. The tires, sway bars. The bearings I'm not worried about. If I don't need all 4, I can always use it in the next build. Let's see. What's the next thing? Plates. And it has Massachusetts plates. Kiwi, in case you're watching this, I'm sure you probably will just to see what I'm up to. But I could not find New Zealand license plates. So I don't know why they're not in here. You got everything else in the sun, but except for that. But Massachusetts over there. We need 2 of those. This is the one thing I've always thought was stupid in car mechanic. Why should I have to put a plate on it? That should be the owner's responsibility. But, no point in whining about it. Hold on. We need one of those. I know that. We're going to be missing probably a lot of that stuff there. So let's get tires. Tires can be kind of a pain. What I do is I write these down. It makes my life so much easier. If you like me and you can't remember half the time, then it's not a bad idea. So 175, 55, R16, and then I need 25, 45, R17s. See, if I only had to deal with one size, it'd be fine, but I don't need 2 of those. Let me just hold up my piece of paper, it'd be a lot easier. This page is curling. 175. What size is that? 16s. 175, 55. So that's good. And we need 17s. I'm not familiar with putting 2 different sizes on a vehicle unless it's a race car. Maybe a Roadster is. All right, and that page is actually full, so it goes in the trash. Okay. Sorry, just put my pen away. Now I was thinking about something. Yeah, we didn't look at the. Well, I'm sure we looked at them, but I only got 1 rim of each. So let's grab these. I don't want to sell it. My shopping list. It's okay. So I need this in a 17-inch. I need this in a 16 as well. And then we just need body parts. So body tuning, there's nothing available. If your car is in the shop, it'll have this little home icon on it. So it shows that it's at your garage, but we don't. Apparently they don't have body tuning for that. But we can buy regular parts. So I just do my regular old cheating. Fender, taillight, rear window, headlight. I know we need more, but I've been paying attention. I don't remember which ones I just bought. Definitely need a windshield. I wouldn't buy that. I'll just come back and get it later. It's no big deal. Let's see where we at. So we're right at 30 minutes, guys. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video here and we'll do a part 2 of assembly and more parts probably. So hope you guys enjoyed and I'll catch you later. See ya.